There are places on this planet that defy easy explanation. Places where the lines between geology and artistry, between nature and intelligence, simply dissolve. In the remote highlands of Montana, hidden on a quiet stretch of private land, stands one such enigma. Locals call it the Sage Wall. Officially, it's a geological formation, but the closer you look, the more the official story begins to crumble. For most of its life, it was a secret kept by the forest, a formation so completely buried beneath a tangle of deadfall and undergrowth that it remained invisible for generations. The land belongs to Christopher Borton and Linda Welsh, who managed the property for years, unaware of the monolith sleeping beneath the debris. It was only during a major clearing operation that the first clue emerged. An oddly straight edge of granite, jutting from the hillside in a way no natural boulder field should. As more of the slope was uncovered, the line extended, revealing a face of colossal blocks, fitted together with uncanny precision. What was once dismissed as rugged terrain was suddenly an unbroken wall, a structure whose existence raises questions that challenge the very foundations of North American prehistory. Once cleared, its dimensions became the first undeniable fact. The Sage Wall stretches for roughly 275 feet in a near-perfect line. Its exposed face rises about 25 feet. But that's only what we can see. Ground-penetrating radar suggests as much as 15 additional feet lie buried, hinting at a foundation far more substantial than what is visible. The individual blocks vary, but some are staggering. The largest is estimated to weigh nearly 100 tons, positioned with a precision that defies casual explanation. For perspective, moving such a mass today would require a fleet of heavy machinery and careful engineering. Here, high in the Montana hills, no such technology is known to have existed in the prehistoric record. Numbers like these invite comparisons to the world's most famous megalithic sites. But in those places, ancient builders left behind a context, tools, quarries, and cultural records. In Montana, there is only silence. And this silence sharpens the questions. But scale is only part of the story. The wall is more than just heavy stone. It is patterned stone. Up close, its face is a study in anomalies. The planes are so flat, they catch the light in unbroken sheets. Between the massive blocks, seams interlock in complex, polygonal shapes that appear deliberately planned. Breaking the uniformity are strange, rounded protrusions, often called knobs. They rise from the otherwise flat faces, positioned in ways that suggest a purpose, perhaps for lifting or anchoring. Scattered across the surface are shallow, circular depressions, known as cupules. And in other sections, long eroded grooves seem to run along the surface, maintaining their direction across multiple blocks. To archaeologists, these features are visual echoes of ancient masonry from halfway around the world, techniques seen at sites where the work of human hands is undisputed. Visuals alone are not proof. To move beyond speculation, the investigation turned to instruments capable of seeing what the naked eye cannot. The first surprise came from a simple magnet. Pressed against the granite, it holds fast. This suggests anomalous concentrations of iron-bearing minerals like magnetite. While natural, the strength of the pull in specific areas is unexpectedly high. The ground-penetrating radar revealed something even more startling. Just below the surface, extending from the wall's base, is a flat, continuous feature, almost like a platform or foundation. While geology can create level surfaces, its precise alignment with the wall demands scrutiny. And then there's its orientation. Preliminary readings show the Sage Wall runs on a bearing close to northwest-southeast, an axis that roughly aligns with the sunrise and sunset points on the winter solstice. If deliberate, this would place the wall in the company of ancient structures across the globe, built as celestial calendars by cultures with a deep knowledge of the sky. A 100-ton monolith aligned with the sun, built with polygonal precision, and featuring a hidden subterranean platform. The case for artificial design seems compelling. But for every mystery, science demands a counterargument, and in this case, it comes from the deep past. During the last ice age, this land sat at the epicenter of extraordinary geological drama. Squeezed between colossal ice sheets, it was a corridor for glacial meltwater torrents of unimaginable power. Forces like the Missoula floods scoured the earth, moving boulders the size of houses. It is from this violent history that the geological explanation is born. Geologists point to the rock itself, granite from the boulder batholith. Over millions of years, immense pressure and temperature changes created natural fractures called joints. When these joints intersect at sharp angles, a process known as orthogonal jointing, they can cause the rock to break away in remarkably block-like patterns. The wall's straight face, skeptics argue, is simply one massive exposed joint plane. As for the knobs and cupules, they too have a geological explanation. Differential weathering, where softer parts of the rock erode faster than harder nodules, can leave rounded protrusions. Solution pans and freeze-thaw cycles can create circular pits in the stone over millennia. From this perspective, the Sage Wall is not an artifact, but a spectacular coincidence, a place where natural processes have converged to perfectly imitate architecture. But does that explanation satisfy? Can jointing and weathering account for a 275-foot continuous line of such unwavering precision? Can it explain the GPR data showing a buried platform? Can it explain the anomalous magnetic signatures and the potential solstitial alignment? One of these features in isolation could be a geological quirk, but all of them together in one location? This is the threshold where the skeptical argument begins to fray. If it is geology, it is a masterpiece of chance. If it is not, it represents a chapter of history older and more advanced than anything currently acknowledged in North America. Today, the Sage Wall remains on private land, protected by its owners. This stewardship prevents damage, but also limits large-scale excavation. The balance is delicate. How do you investigate a potential World Heritage Site without compromising its integrity? Too little access, and its secrets remain buried. Too much, and they could be destroyed in the search. This is why the Sage Wall matters. It forces us to confront the limits of our knowledge. We are in danger, not from the wall itself, but from the certainty of our own assumptions. If we dismiss it as geology without exhaustive proof, we risk losing a record of a forgotten human past. If we embrace it as man-made without irrefutable evidence, we risk building a false history. The real mystery is not just what it is, but what it asks of us. It demands rigor. It demands curiosity. It demands that we challenge what we think we know about the world and about our place in it. Whether a monument of a lost civilization or a symphony of geological forces, the Sage Wall deserves the truth.